I finished chapter 5, and I just sat there staring at the screen because that wasn't an ending. That was the moment the story finally flipped. Poppy is gone. The prototype is still in control, and the one person we thought was dead is back. Dr. Harley Sawyer. If you blinked during those final minutes, you probably missed what the game actually revealed, because Chapter 5 doesn't explain anything directly. It shows you just enough to make you think you understand, and then it pulls the floor out from under you. So let's slow this down and walk through what really happened and why this ending changes everything. The final sequence tricks you into thinking you escaped. You survive the train run. You jump. For a second, it feels like relief. Then the prototype returns. Fast, violent, unstoppable. Exactly how he's been built up since Chapter 3. The attack is overwhelming, and then suddenly everything shifts into that strange dreamlike sequence. The sound fades, the visuals distort, and for a moment, it genuinely feels like we died. Sheep Rampage mentioned this felt like a fake ending when he first played, and honestly, same. To be honest, it feels final. But then we wake up. Giblet revives us, and that moment quietly tells us something important. We are not alone anymore. But survival isn't the victory, because when we wake, Poppy is gone, taken, and right there, the goal changes. We are no longer trying to escape the factory. We are now chasing what took her. All throughout the chapter, Giblet keeps talking about something hidden, something the prototype doesn't want anyone to find.
Oh, hey, you found something. This is it. This is... Chum, what is this? Negation formula. Sounds spicy. And looks like the prototype doesn't want anyone to find it. They got it stored on a backup in IT. We can get there from the tram in reanimation. You can get us in there, right?
Backup system deep in the facility. He never explains what it is, only that it might help stop the prototype. So we fight through Lily's area. We survive Huggy. We evade the prototype. We push deeper underground. And after everything, we reach the sealed chamber. We open the hatch. And inside is a computer terminal. Not a weapon, not a weakness file, just a system console. And for a second, it feels almost disappointing. After all of that, this? Then the system boots, and we hear a voice.
Well now, this is a rather interesting turn of events.
Dr. Harley Sawyer is alive. I don't care how many theories you watched, that moment still hits. Because suddenly, everything we thought was resolved isn't. And here's the thing, this wasn't random. Copper60 pointed out that Sawyer's defeat in Chapter 4 never felt final. We removed a card, we didn't destroy him. And right before his defeat, Sawyer said, "I'll bury myself so far down that no one will ever find me." Yeah, buddy, in your dreams, we are the freaking player, and if we want, we can find you. Well, I wonder if you become our ally or our worst enemy. So how did Sawyer survive? The simplest answer is probably the correct one. He backed himself up. Sawyer isn't just a person. He exists digitally within the factory systems. Before his defeat, he could have copied his consciousness and stored it deep in the IT infrastructure, exactly where we find him. And this lines up perfectly with what Giblet said earlier. They got it stored on a backup in IT. The backup wasn't files. It was Sawyer. Some players assumed Giblet planned this, but his reaction suggests he didn't expect it. And that's important, because Giblet worked under the prototype, but he also wanted him destroyed. If the backup was meant to help defeat the prototype and instead revived Sawyer, that suggests this system existed long before Giblet found it. Sawyer planned for this moment, long before we arrived. Now the real question, Why bring Sawyer back? Because so far, one thing has been proven over and over. We cannot defeat the prototype alone. When he appears, he destroys everything. But Sawyer understands the experiments. He helped build them. He understands their limits, their failures, their vulnerabilities. If anyone knows how to stop the prototype, it's him. But trusting Sawyer is another question entirely. In Chapter 4, he warned us about Poppy. He suggested she wasn't telling the full truth. He implied she knew more about the hour of joy than she admitted. We ignored him, and after following Poppy's direction, Huggy and Kissy are stabbed, Poppy is captured, we nearly die. So when Sawyer says this is a rather interesting turn of events, he may be acknowledging exactly that. We didn't listen. Now we need his help. That changes the power dynamic completely. One of the biggest reveals in Chapter 5 isn't even in a cutscene. It's in a hidden journal entry near the computer room, and it answers questions people have been asking for years. The note reveals Poppy is Experiment 107. She was Elliot Ludwig's daughter. She inspired the Poppy dolls. Ludwig worked independently from Playtime C. The prototype hid near Theodore, who later became Katnap, and the orphans relocated during the Hour of Joy may have been turned into experiments. Let that sink in. Playtime C didn't start the experiments. They inherited them. Something bigger was already happening beneath the factory. Then there's the most disturbing implication.
What did you do with them? Where are the orphans? Uh-oh, she doesn't know.
I did.
What I had to.
Very.
In a better place now.
No, you're a monster!
Poppy asks the prototype, "What did you do with them?" He answers, "They're in a better place now." That does not sound like rescue. That sounds like transformation, which suggests the missing children became experiments, possibly the creatures we encounter, possibly future enemies. That idea alone makes the factory feel even darker. And this is why the ending feels unresolved, because it is. The prototype now has Poppy, we have Sawyer, the children are missing, and the truth is still buried beneath the facility. This isn't closure, this is escalation. Chapter 6 will likely focus on finding the prototype, rescuing Poppy, uncovering the secret he wanted cracked, learning the truth about the experiments, discovering what happens to the children, and deciding whether Sawyer is ally or enemy. There's also another possibility: escape. Giblet mentions he never plans to stay underground forever, which means there may still be a way out. The prototype isn't just killing, he's collecting, rebuilding, controlling. Every experiment he fixes becomes part of something larger. If he now has Poppy, he may have acquired another critical piece of whatever he is building, and that thought is more unsettling than anything we saw in the chapter. Before Chapter 5, the goal was survival. After Chapter 5, the goal is confrontation. For the first time, we are not running, we are moving toward the truth. And for the first time, we may have the knowledge to fight back. But now I want to hear what you think. Do we trust Sawyer? Did the prototype want us to find him? And what do you think he's building? Because Chapter 5 didn't end the story. It finally revealed how big it really is, and it feels like we've only just stepped into the real game.
And you.
The outsider,
Butcher.
they call you. Shall we see what you look like?
Wrong side out.